from Chulalongkorn University. Hi, my name is Nipat from Chulalongkorn University, the Faculty of Psychology and the Life Transition and Psychology of Time Research Group. Today, I'm going to share my idea about family violence in Thailand. So thank you for having me today. So as we all know that we mentally stereotyping particular characteristic of people that we think they are more likely to be a victim. And females, children, and aging individuals are the things that the group of individuals that we perceive or we stereotype them as, more likely to be a victim. But for males, there are not a lot of studies or a lot of reports that include males as victims. And in the official record, like Thai Domestic Violence Information Center, they report the victimization in the family, and they put males in the others category, which actually report having received violence in their family. And so we spent some time looking at the research in Thai setting, and what we found is that the research on violence against men are really limited. And there, if there is something that reporting the family violence, they usually focus on the data collection on married women in particular, and just collect the data solely from women. And this Curley and colleagues 2010 is one of the example that even though they collected data in Thailand and big sample size, but they focus on women only. And there's another research that even though they didn't look in the family setting, but they're looking at dating violence among teens in Bangkok area. And they're looking at over 1,000 participants, and they have 45% males, which is pretty good on balancing males and females in data collection. And these participants age from 14 to 19 years. And the researcher did a really good job on breaking down different educational status, like high school, vocational school, and out of school. So this is a good start to get to see the studies that address violence across age, across gender group, like males and females. And as you can see from the table here, that males and females are equally likely in relation to perform the act that is violence against their partner. So they report that they have done such an act in particular area of violence. So when we collect the data in both male and female, we tend to see that the stereotype about only female gets to become a victimized is not true, not always true. And in 2019, there was one paper that was written in Thai, Hom Yam Yen and the colleagues wrote a really interesting paper about violence against men based on the famous case Black Widow. Even though the case Black Widow was originated in the Western culture, but the authors, they actually learn from the case and then come up with analysis on the violence, and they highlight the lack of research and support system for male victimization. So they said that if males receive violence at home, there was no support system. And even then, when they go tell someone, most of the people will not believe what they said, and there was no system in place or a clear understanding among people or authorities to set the idea that there is a possibility that men can be the victim of the violence at home as well. So that's how I start to put pieces together about the situation of the studies and research that is lacking on violence against males. But one last study that I would like to share is the study from Pichyayothin and Manisi in 2017. They did such a wonderful job on collecting the data over 1,000 people with males and females relatively in proportion, very good amount to be able to compare between genders. And they collect the adult people 18 years and older who had who report having heterosexual relationship at least for 6 months. And they use random sampling and collect the information from different parts of Thailand. So they did a really good stratified sampling approach here. And they're also looking at different type of relationship like registered marriage, unregistered, cohabitating, and cohabitating. So if someone reported they have been in a relationship for at least 6 months, they are included in the study. So, and they use the conflict tactics scales revised in Thai version. And with their scale development, they got 16 items representing self-to-partner behaviors and 16 other items representing partner-to-self behaviors. And with these 16 items comes 4 different types of violence, psychological, physical, sexual, and injury. And they report pretty interesting findings that, you know, and the good thing is that this study looked intensively on both roles that the person could possibly be in, perpetration and also victimization. So as you can see, I highlight the male side here, that male can be, if you look at the victimization down here, males can be victimized in certain area. Particularly, you can see that quite psychological aggression from their female partner seems to look pretty stand out here. So with this type of report and with the very refined types of violence, you get to see the report from our male participants. So the researcher also mentioned that the data that they collected from different sites, you know, in Thailand versus the data from the authority like Thailand Domestic Violence Information Center, there seems to be some discrepancy on the amount of men or the other categories that report as being a victim. And maybe the reason being was that the record will be counted only when the men go seek for help from authority or from community service staff, and then once the person is in the system, then they get to report that. But when we go to the data collection to the different sites and didn't particularly ask them that this is, you know, for the purpose of, you know, looking for someone who, you know, is have experience of violence by a female. With that, you know, not a lot of people would feel comfortable confront with the fact and also trying to seek for help. And that's why when we, as a researcher, when we do the good approach on the research design and do the data collection from everyone, then you get a better picture, and people feel kind of less intimidated to report their experience through the survey. So, so what can we do from
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for attending this morning. We will now break for lunch, and we will be back at 1:30 p.m. in this room. That is